The Galactic Academy of Interstellar Sciences was, by every measurable standard, the most prestigious learning institution in the known universe. It floated in the upper atmosphere of Valoris Prime, a gas giant whose amber clouds wrapped the station in perpetual golden twilight. Its halls were lined with hollow displays showing the achievements of 1,000 species. Its cafeteria offered cuisine from 47 star systems. Its student body represented the finest young minds from 83 civilizations. And Mia, a 17-year-old human girl from Earth, had earned her seat among them. She sat in the front row of Professor Krellin's advanced xenobiology class, her dark hair pulled back in a simple braid, her human hands, five-fingered, soft-looking, unremarkable, resting on the desk. She was small by most species standards. The Dorvani students behind her were nearly 3 meters tall, their exoskeletal frames clicking softly as they adjusted in their reinforced chairs. The Sylphery floated slightly above their seats, their translucent bodies pulsing with bioluminescent thought light. Even the Grethkai, known for their compact builds, were broader and heavier than Mia. She looked, to the untrained eye, like the least threatening creature in the room. Jack had the trained eye of a bully, which meant he saw exactly what he wanted to see. Jack was a Torvan, a species from the climate-controlled paradise world of Orith 4. Thetis blue skin, for powerful arms, a jaw that could crush mineral ore, and a social hierarchy built entirely on the concept of dominance display. He was top of his class in physical integration studies, captain of the Zero-Gravity Combat League, and he had decided, on Mia's very first day, that she was a perfect target. Deathworlder, he called her, dragging the word out like an insult. He said it the way one might say pest or parasite. I still don't understand how you're here. Earth barely qualified for civilization status 200 years ago. You were still burning dead plants for energy. A few students laughed, mostly those who wanted to stay on Jack's good side, which on Orith 4 passed for friendship. Mia did not look up from her notes. This infuriated Jack more than any retort could have. No response. He leaned over from the adjacent aisle, for arms crossed over his chest. Typical. Fragile little mammal. I've read about your kind. Your bones break from moderate pressure. Your skin tears if you look at it wrong. You can't even survive a mild Orethian afternoon. What was it, 45 degrees? You'd be dead. He said the last word with theatrical relish, drawing more laughter. Mia finally looked up. Her eyes, brown, quiet, patient, met his. She said nothing for a long moment. Then she uncapped her stylus, made a small notation in her margin, and looked back at Jack with the expression of someone deciding whether a math problem was worth solving. You want to talk about Earth? She asked. I want to understand, Jack said, spreading two of his arms in a gesture of mock curiosity. Why a creature from a world that tried to kill you every single day is sitting in an academy classroom instead of hiding in a cave somewhere. Mia set down her stylus. She did not stand up. She did not raise her voice. She simply folded her human hands on the desk and began to speak. Earth has an axial tilt of 23.5 degrees, she said. That means every year, we experience 4 seasons. Temperature swings that can range from -60 to +50 degrees Celsius, depending on region. Humans adapted to survive all of them. We didn't migrate away. We didn't build climate shields. We lived in them. We hunted in them. Jack made a dismissive sound. Impressive for primitives. Our oceans, Mia continued, as if he hadn't spoken, cover 70% of the planet's surface. They contain creatures that have been evolving killing strategies for over 500 million years. The largest predatory fish on our world can detect a single drop of blood in 25 million liters of water. And humans, who cannot breathe underwater, who have no natural armor, who have no venom, no echolocation, no electroreception, decided to sail those oceans anyway. In wooden boats. For thousands of years. The laughter in the room had gone quiet. We have a pathogen history, she said. Bacteria and viruses that have been co-evolving with us since before we were Homo sapiens. Things that have killed hundreds of millions of us. Plague, flu, cholera. You know what we did? We didn't develop natural immunity fast enough. We didn't evolve a better immune response in time. So we built medicine. We invented vaccines. We learned to trick our own immune systems into recognizing threats they'd never seen before. We hacked our own biology because nature wasn't moving fast enough for us. She tilted her head slightly. Our gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. Higher than your homeworld's, Jack. You've been here at the Academy for 2 years in reduced gravity, haven't you? I read that Orethian physiologists recommend no more than 6 months of full Earth standard gravity exposure for your species before joint degradation begins. Jack's forearms uncrossed, slowly. I've lived in Earth gravity my entire life, Mia said. It built these bones you called fragile. Human bone, gram for gram, is stronger than reinforced concrete. Did you know that? Probably not. Most people don't look closely enough at prey to learn what it's actually made of. The room was very still. Our hearts beat about 100,000 times per day without stopping for our entire lives. We sleep, and we are at our most vulnerable, and we evolved to do it anyway because our brains require it to consolidate memory and repair cellular damage. We developed the capacity to run for distances that exceed the endurance of nearly every land predator on our planet. We don't outrun prey, Jack. We outlast it. We follow it for hours, days if necessary, until it collapses from exhaustion and heat. We are persistence hunters, the only ones on Earth, possibly the only ones in this sector of the galaxy. She picked her stylus back up. You said 45 degrees would kill me. On Earth, we have athletes who voluntarily run 160 kilometers through the Sahara Desert. Ambient temperature of 50 degrees, sand surface temperature of over 80, for fun. They call it the marathon disables. They pay money to participate. A silvery student made a soft, high sound that translated roughly as what? I'm not saying any of this to frighten you, Mia added, and her voice was genuinely calm, genuinely kind, even. I'm saying it because you called me fragile, and you called my world a liability, and I think you deserve accurate information. That's what we're here for, isn't it? The Academy. Accurate information. She smiled, a small, closed-lip human smile. Earth is a Class 4 Deathworld. That classification exists because the Intergalactic Survey Bureau needed a category for planets where the environment itself is in a constant state of active hostility toward all life, and where some life has adapted not just to survive, but to dominate. We are at the top of Earth's food chain, not because we're the biggest, or the fastest, or the most venomous, but because we are relentless. We problem solve. We communicate across generations. We pass knowledge to our children about threats we ourselves never survived. She looked at Jack one last time. You have 4 arms. That's genuinely impressive. Orith 4 is a beautiful, temperate world, and your people have built remarkable things. I mean that. But don't mistake the fact that my world tried to kill me for a sign that I am killable. Every human walking around is the descendant of 1,000 generations of people who survived something that should have ended them. She turned back to her notes. I'm glad to answer more questions after class if you have them. Professor Krellin, a 6-limbed Mirlan who had been standing at the front of the room in absolute silence for the last 4 minutes, slowly turned back toward the hollow board. His secondary eyes, the ones that conveyed emotion in his species, were wide with something that looked a great deal like reverence. As Miss Mia has, he said, his voice slightly unsteady, so efficiently summarized for us. The study of Terran biology will indeed be a significant portion of this semester's curriculum. I suggest you all update your notes accordingly. Jack said nothing for the rest of the class. He didn't say much the day after, either, or the day after that. By the end of the week, students were asking Mia if they could sit with her at lunch, not out of pity, not out of novelty, but because she had a way of answering questions that made the universe feel larger and more comprehensible all at once. She always said yes. She never turned anyone away. That, too, was a very human thing. We are not the apex predator because we are fearsome. We are the apex predator because we never, ever stop. Mia, human, age 17, Galactic Academy of Interstellar Sciences, Year 1.